social media and the phone, because I know our generation, and our generation is a generation that is so digitalized. Everything you can easily have access to social media or on your phone, and you can set a day's plan, and in the middle of the day you're scrolling through Facebook, through Instagram, TikTok, and then all the plans you've made zooms up, and you're like, oh, I made a plan, but hello guys, welcome again to the part 2 of Be Intentional. And this time we're going to discuss something very important, which is things that can affect your intentionality. Because a lot of times people want to be intentional, right? Nobody wants to have a wasted life. Everyone has a life planned out, or most people have lives planned out. But then we find out that majority of people plan, but not everybody actualizes the plan or makes it to be a reality. This is because there are things that can affect your being intentional. And let's dive right into it. The first thing is sentiment and depending so much on what others will think. I can speak from experience. A lot of time, the thing that can hinder you from doing what you really want to do is because you are thinking of what the next person will say or what this other person will think of you, and you wouldn't want to do what you feel like doing. A lot of times you might have wanted to start something, but then you might be feeling like, if I start this, what will this person think? Will they really like it? What will people say? And thinking so much of what people will say will actually really restrict you. In the book of Proverbs, actually, it was stated somewhere that it is dangerous to be concerned about what people will think about you, what people think of you. But you can, if you trust in God, then you are safe. And it's true. I'm speaking from experience because there are times where I would always think about what people say. How would they view me if they see me doing this thing? Now, the truth is, as long as what you're doing pleases God, or what you're doing is okay by you, and it fits moral standards and etiquette and is good, then do it anyway. You don't need to seek anyone's approval if you know it's good already. If you know especially that whoever you're going to seek approval from will turn you down or discourage you. A lot of us have tried to do something and talk to someone about it, and it happened that the person we talked to is the same person that discouraged us from going forward in the good thing that we were supposed to do. That is one thing that can really hinder you from being intentional. You might have made the plans up and set everything right, but then only for you to start and you realize that you can't do it because this person might laugh at you, or just what people say, they can really discourage you. So if there's one skill you would have to learn in order to be intentional, is to say no, as I said earlier, and to be confident in yourself, be confident in your decisions, and be willing to brace every consequence that comes with the decisions that you make. The second thing that can hinder your intentionality is laziness. A lot of times you set to-do lists, you set plans for the year, New Year resolutions and all of that, but then you find out that you do not have the hard work to do it. You are so lazy. Procrastination. I'm going to do procrastination with this laziness. You would always want to postpone the things you want to do, and you just feel so tired. The funny part is, when someone asks you, why are you tired? You cannot really answer, but you just feel tired, right? I've had those experiences too. You just feel tired for no just cause. But then, if you want to be intentional in life, you have to scrap laziness out of your list, out of your vision board, because with laziness, you really can't do anything. The third thing is lack of discipline. If you lack discipline, then you wouldn't really be able to do anything, rather, because discipline is key. You wouldn't always feel like it. That's the truth, especially after the initial time when you have some hormones making you feel excited and to start a new venture. it gets to a point where the hormones will really not be there responding. You have to depend on your enthusiasm and your passion for it, and most especially your discipline, because passion enough can always make you do something. There's a level of discipline you have to be intentional about anything you choose to be intentional about. Discipline is key to intentionality, because a lot of times you won't feel like it, but you have to do it anyways if you want to have a good result. You have to do it anyway if you want to have a good result. The fourth thing now is social media and the phone, because I know our generation, and our generation is a generation that is so digitalized. Everything you can easily have access to social media or on your phone, and you can set a day's plan, and in the middle of the day you're scrolling through Facebook, through Instagram, TikTok, and then all the plans you've made zooms up, and you're like, oh, I made a plan, but this is so entertaining. So a lot of times scrolling through your phone can make you not to be intentional when you set time to do something, because it's a waste of time when you're doing something that is not productive and it's not your leisure time. I'm not saying scrolling through social media is bad, but you should set a time for it, and when you set a time for it, make sure you're doing it at that time that you set for it, because if you do not, then it's going to waste your time, and waste of time means not being intentional with your time. And another thing we have here is your friend circle. As I said earlier in the previous video, no matter how much intentional mindset you get, no matter how rigid you want to be, no matter how much to-dos, goals, and plans you set, if you have the wrong friend circle, then trust me, that's a sure way of not doing anything at all, or doing the bare minimum. Because you need people of like minds around you. You need people to motivate you when you don't feel like it. You need people with similar mindsets that can lift you up during times when you do not feel like doing what you have set yourselves to do. But if you have people who are always there only when you want to hang out, only when you want to have fun, and forget about the structured plans you made, trust me, you would always have them around and always not do the structured plans you've decided to do, because the people around you will surely influence you in some way or the other, whether you like it or not, consciously or unconsciously rather. You tend to imitate the characters you keep around you. So if you have people who are not disciplined and intentional with their life and their living, there's every possibility that yourself, no matter how good you've planned, you might possibly not be disciplined enough to write down or do the plans you've set to do, because you have friends who are also not interested in any planning or in any defined lifestyle. Another thing is that in order to be intentional, something that can affect your intentionality is not having a clear vision, right? That is why it's good to list your visions down, your goals down, and look at them every day or thrice in a week or every morning to create the consciousness of it. If you're not so involved in what you want to do, then you might not really do it. So you need to allow your imagination to flood around it. Allow you flood your imaginations. Allow you flood your thoughts and your mind in order to be able to do it. When you do these things, and when you take note of all these things that can hinder your intentionality and work on them and pay close attention to them, and likewise set your goals and standards to do list as we listed the last time in other videos, and allow them to flood your imaginations. That's the goals and the plans you've made. Trust me, you'll be able to live an intentional life this year. Time waits for no one. You have to be intentional about every single time, every single second that passes by. Access is very important, because people you give access to are people you give chance to influence you. So your time and your access is very important this year in order for you to be intentional about living. Surround yourself with things that will make you be the person you want to be. Surround yourself with books, with people, with mentors, with friends that will shape you into that person you want to become. So you have to be intentional about your friend circle, your time, the access you give to people, the things you put around you, the things you listen to, the things you see. Your eyes and your ears are gates. So what you see often will flood your mind. What you hear often, you would act on. So be intentional about what you see and what you hear. And trust me, this year will be so amazing, and everything you've planned out, or almost everything you've planned out, will surely be a reality because you indeed were intentional about doing everything you set to do. I pray that God helps every one of us, including myself, to be intentional this year and achieve every single thing we set out to achieve and to do, because life is a journey.